you play the game with the people that writing the rules. Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be winning now, but the thing is that I had to lose. So go and tell me what you really want to do. And lonely at the top, cause there ain't a lot of room. Ain't no other option, that's all I ever knew. So I'ma get it poppin', you know how I'ma do. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm going all in. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah. They know I'm going all in. Through the blood and the sweat, y'all know we ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. I've been down from the jump. Ain't no love lost, we just really doing us. Go and take your seat, looking silly getting up. Y'all know what it is, let me tell them what it was. It was 24/7 on the grind, one thing at a time. Hard to understand, kind of person got the state of mind. We was making moves every day, getting things in line. You could go and say what you want, but believe that I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm going all in. Yeah, and I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, they know I'm going all in. Through the blood and the sweat, y'all know we ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in.
What's up, party people, the SFL? What's going on? What's happening? What is cracking this Monday night, this victory Monday night, this SFL playoff Monday night? We're going to talk about wild cards. We're going to talk about the quarterfinals. We've got a bunch of interviewees coming in, at least 3 team owners that I know for sure, plus 1 content creator coming in for interviews. Of course, we're going to have Bullet and Gunny and Lisa and Freddie, and I'm going to throw in a couple extra things for myself. I've taken the Axis powers from 3 teams to 8 teams. I'm going to list, oh, zip it, Zach. I'm going to list in order the 8 teams that are remaining in the SFL Season 21 playoffs. And playoffs? We talk about playoffs? Dude,
Are you kidding me? That is just
hey,
stupid.
we need to get that soundboard, Zach, for sure. And then what's the other thing I was going to do? I'm going to do one more extra thing. The Axis powers and fucking, I don't know, some other shit that it'll probably pop into my head later. I think I announced it earlier. I see a lot of party people coming in the chat. I'll get to you in just a second. I just want to welcome everybody to Axis After Dark. I'm your host, Dave Axis. This is my 156th show overall. So I appreciate you guys all hanging in there. Looks like we already got some more subscribers and stuff, so we'll hit that here in a second as well. And here's the deal for the over-under. The over-under for tonight, with all we're going to do, all the stuff I just talked about, including whatever else I forgot about. What was the other thing I forgot about I said I was going to do? Well, shit, I don't know. I'm going to make my quarterfinal predictions. I'm actually going to go on record and pick the winners. That's the other thing. So all of that stuff, I'm thinking, Zach, should we go 75 minutes? Like from the time I started the stream to the end, or should we go 90 minutes from the time I started the stream to the end?
We got 25 minutes, so let's get this shit show
What do
going.
you mean you have 25 minutes?
Well, I have a date tonight.
At 9:30?
With my bed.
Oh, that's, dude, you know what? Here, let me text your bed and let them know you're going to be an hour late. Hey, yo.
What do we want to do? Party people in the chat, what do we want to do?
All right, I say we do this. Make it 75 minutes as the over-under. All right? And then go ahead and put the bet in the chat as I'm getting ready to check it here, and then people can bet their points. I think last week we went over for the first time in a long time. So we'll see what happens We'll see what happens tonight. So let me go check the chat here. Iowa Corn King was the first guy in, along with Stream Elements, Bullet Boletsky, Iowa Corn King, David Leathers, Crazy Canuck, Master Chief, some dude named Dave Axis, Ron Haynes is in the house. Excuse me. Who's that? Neil Rivers. What's up, Neil Rivers? Good to see you, buddy. Twin Screw, what's up? T to Queen, Grant Hardaway, the lovely, amazing, and still perfect Pink Lisa. One of the Menners, Dropsies. Is that Corey? I think Corey Menner's in the house. Bob Funk, Michaela Foraker, Ryan Davis, Ernst Skern, Ernest McCrae is still here. Shut Up Kanye is back. Art Vandelay, bro. It's going to be fun this weekend, man. It is going to be fun this weekend. I mean, no matter what, there was a lot of possibilities of teams playing each other. Not only do we get to play you guys, Art, but I get to play a couple of my former teammates too, so it's going to be fun. What else did I miss? All right, the predictions in. Oh, we've only got about 30 people in here, so maybe we're waiting on some people to talk or something. But, oh, look what I did. I already fucked up. You know what? I don't really mess up that often on this show.
Are you kidding me? That is just stupid.
Hey-o.
We end up looking like a monkey fucking a football.
We do that a lot. You know what? And here's the thing. When I think of a monkey fucking a football, you know what I think of?
Dave?
Of course, I think of my main man, Bullet Boletsky, right? When I think of a monkey fucking...
That's not very nice, Dave.
Oh, shit. Sorry, bro. I'm like all kinds of fuck. This is what happens when I take a...
What the hell,
Dude,
Dave?
relax yourself. It's all good in the hood, bro. Violent intro, says Art Vandelay, right? So, Bullet, what's going on? How you do? Did we do a show last week, or did we have a week off?
We did a show last week, Dave.
Why do I
sir.
feel like I took a week off?
I don't
You
know.
have every week off, Dave.
Yeah, I pretty much do.
That could be it.
That's the story of my fucking life. All right, so because we are not rushing tonight's show, because we didn't have a schedule to keep with Monday Night Spectacular, we have decided that we're going to take our time tonight. Although 75 minutes is the official over/under, we've decided from start. I'm using it this time. I'm counting the music in the intro, so 75 minutes. From the time the stream started to the end. So whatever time stamp is on the stream at the end, that is the time. But because of that, I told Bullet, I was like, bro, you can have more than 3 bullet points. I will go I'll give you 25% more. I'll give you 4 bullet points. I'm so
generous.
I'm so fucking generous. I'm so fucking generous. So, Bullet, you came through. You sent 4 bullet points. So let's get to it. From last week's show, what is bullet point number 1?
Okay, bullet point number 1. At the beginning of Dave's intro, he said, let's see if we can knock out a quickie real quick.
I did say that.
If I had a dime for every time said in the Axis household, I wouldn't have any money. Dave does a show from his basement, people. Nerd alert. The only quickies happening in Dave's house is when he has to quickly run to take out the trash when his nacho alarm rings.
Okay.
True story.
True story. But here's the deal, right? So nacho alarms are on Monday. Tuesday night alarms are for the trash. Right?
I see.
Right?
So I conflated 2 alarms. Sue me,
wait a
Dave.
minute. Oh, no, wait. Today's still Monday, right? Hold on.
Today is Monday, Dave.
Let me see.
Yes.
Hold on. I want to see let me see if the alarm's even on. If it's not on, that could be a problem. Oh, yeah, it's on. We're good. All right. So, yeah, the nacho alarm's a thing. For those of you who've been here, you guys know that. And just for the record, and Mike O'Neill and Brookie Burr, they can attest.
Mike.
They can attest. Mike. They were at our house last night. They came over to watch the San Diego playoff game, and they spent the night. And they did see. I gave them the tour of the house, and I brought them into this room, and I said, "Hey, this is where the magic happens." And no.
I'm waiting for the punchline, Dave.
I'm just thinking about all the shit that you guys are thinking. And it's upstairs. It's not in the basement. So how do you like that? Do you like Apple's Bullet? Because there's 2 of them right there, buddy.
It was upstairs. I take a little poetic license.
I
What do
know
want?
you do. I'm just talking shit anyway. All right, bullet point number 2.
Number 2, Dave is obviously trying to ice me out as he had me on mute for the first 30 seconds of my segment as I gloriously riffed about the previous week. That masterful word painting will never caress the ears of the party people. What a shame. Every week it's something else with me, one of the guests, or the party people. This is becoming a hostile work environment, folks. We need to demand more from our streaming show hosts, so you should all write your congressman and demand that Dave get his shit together.
Fired. I am your congressman. I would do that in my best I am your father voice.
Yes.
Oh,
Dave
shit.
as congressman would be quite frightening, I think.
Yeah, I think. Hey, sorry, bro. I just realized I've had you muted this whole time.
That would be
No,
hilarious.
I know. I'm just fucking. Oh shit, that would be awesome. That would have been awesome.
That would be awesome.
But the masterful word painting will never caress the ears of the party people. Thank God for that. Let's go to bullet point number 3.
Number 3, when interviewing Nacho, Dave managed to use the words semi and hump in the same sentence. We all know where Dave's mind always is, but geez, a little subtlety, please. You might as well just read the movie descriptions on Pornhub for 50 minutes instead of talking about the NFL and SFL.
Dude,
Jeez.
so first of all, I knew it. I knew that he had to that Korn had to hit the Korn Hub music. I knew that was going to happen. Semi and hump in the same sentence is. I wonder, is that the first time I've ever done that on this show? Because
I don't know. I don't have a word tally, Dave. I'm sorry.
I don't know, bro. But I would if I had to bet, I would say no. But I don't know. And by the way, I don't do subtle, bro. That's not my gig. That's not my thing.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. So for those of you who on a Monday night after the Monday Night Spectacular are used to only having 3 bullet points, here's your bonus bullet point tonight. Bullet point number 4.
Number 4, and I apologize in advance to Pink Lisa.
Oh
for this one.
shit! Here we go. Here I knew this was going to happen.
But in fairness, this one was well deserved. Come on, so here we go. Pink Lisa, who has been on point and awesome all season, was a mess last week.
I love how you had to compliment her first, right? You got to build her up before you tear her down. Bullet, is that how it works?
It works right out of the playbook, baby. All right. First, she muted herself right out of the gate. Then she announced that she had forgotten to print her notes for her segment. She then made Dave stall for a few minutes so she could run upstairs and print them out. While waiting, Dave said, "Don't make me change your name to the lovely, amazing, almost perfect Pink Lisa." When Lisa finally got the segment going, she was completely discombobulated all the way through. It was a mess. As all of this was happening, Zach was playing the "If You Get a Divorce in Alabama, Are You Still Brother and Sister" sound in the background. Pure bullet gold.
Oh, that was bullet gold. Look, he's not on the ball. He could have been playing that right now.
If you get a divorce in Alabama,
There you go.
are you still brother and sister?
I need to find the damn fucking
I
button.
know, dude. We've got way too many fucking buttons now, for sure.
I know.
And Lisa telling everybody you're welcome for giving everybody a bullet point this week. And Bullet, I want to thank you for giving us bullet points every week.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it, my man.
All right. I don't know how many more shows we're going to do. I mean, we only got a couple weeks left. Thanksgiving's in a couple weeks. I'm thinking maybe next week, and that's it. But we'll see.
We'll have a lot to talk about no matter what happens.
Oh, I'm
next
sure.
week,
Especially,
right?
dude, you're giving us 75 to 90 minutes tonight. You know that shit's going to go down.
Oh, yeah.
All right, bro. Thank you, Bullet. Appreciate it, everybody. Charlie Boletsky with his bullet points that he brings faithfully every week here. And that's going to move us on to... Tyler Falk's 2-minute drill. Tyler, what's going on? What's happening? What's cracking with you this Monday night, bro?
I'm doing well, Dave. Great to be back on Axis After Dark. And, yeah, I missed the show last week, but I'm glad to be back on... how many bullet points have I already created?
More than you've been paid for sure.
You
know what? Maybe that's why I felt there wasn't a show last week, because you weren't here. I bet that's what it is.
Interesting.
Maybe
there's a correlation.
Oh, you know what I did forget to do though, bro? I forgot to set up your timer. So give me a second here. I'm gonna.
What?
Dude, listen, bro. Listen, bro. All right, hold on. Oh, zip it, bro. I haven't done a show in like a whole week. Oh, fuck.
No
All right,
excuses.
I'm going to count it down to 2 minutes and then I'll pause it.
Yeah. Jeopardy theme song, anybody?
Yeah. Dear. How come we don't have that?
Just crickets. Just crickets, I
Oh.
guess.
I'm trying to get to. Why is it stopping? There we go. All right. It's at 2 minutes. It's at 1:58. Oh shit. All right. I'll give you I'll give you 4 seconds, and then you get. So Tyler Falk is going to give us a 2-minute drill on this weekend's. I'm going to put it right there. Wild card round. I'll give you about 4 seconds to get started, and then I'm going to hit the clock. Are you ready, Tyler?
I am ready. So how about let's go? Time to give everybody a synopsis on the Vancouver offense from this weekend.
Cricket.
Yes, it was non-existent. The first half was filled with nothing but punts, but they turned things around in the second half when all they did was turn over the football, whether it be through the interception or through turnover on downs. They were shellacked. I mean, slobber knocked. They were bamboozled all 40 minutes, leading to a Zippo on their side of the scoreboard. Canton controls the game 40-0. Moving on to some more entertaining news from this weekend. Minnesota, Arizona, the first ever SFL team to be 4-8 and still make the playoffs by winning a cluster. You know, you put the other exit here. Cluster of a division that ended up going the way for Arizona, but not due to Minnesota's lack of trying. A fantastic end of that football game. Unfortunately, Minnesota throws an interception late on the red zone, and Arizona takes home the victory. Moving on to Sunday's games in Seattle, the complete collapse at the end of the season is complete. Charleston, one of the hottest teams coming into these playoffs, go into the Nemisphere. And for the first half, you're thinking, all right, it's a back-and-forth game. Not so fast, my friend, says Charleston. They completely dominate the Seattle Nemesis in Seattle, allowing 0 points in that second half while scoring a bunch of their own. They take the win in Seattle. And finally, it had to be the final game that gave us the most talking points and the best game of the wild card weekend. A nail-biter throughout. It was hard-fought throughout. Both teams going back and forth all the way into the final minutes when eventually San Diego would eventually score a 43-yard touchdown pass. DC would try and make a game of it with a field goal, but then San Diego ran the ball out to end the football game, and that is your SFL Wildcard Weekend 2-minute drill.
Oh, Tyler, I don't know how the fuck you do that, bro. I don't think I could do anything that much or that fast for 2 minutes, man. I appreciate that shit for sure. How are you doing? Are you hyperventilating or anything? Are you good?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not right now.
Awesome. Well, since I have you here, before you go, I just posted on the screen for everybody to see wildcard results from this weekend. You nailed it. The Vancouver thing had me fucking rolling right now. 40-0. That has to be your shocker of the weekend, along with Charleston going into the Nemisphere and taking care of Seattle. But what was I don't know if you got a chance to watch all the games, but what was your most enjoyable game, and which one was the most disappointing for you this weekend?
As I alluded to, San Diego, DC, best for last, completely was a fun game to watch throughout. The most disappointing game, obviously, is that 0 for our friends in the North in Vancouver. I mean, for so many seasons, you win your first playoff game when the whole talking point was you win your first game, and they completely just fall apart in the second game.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is they don't have to wait for a second game. They're done in the first game, and to play Canton, which they had played earlier in the season and beaten quite handily, I think by 20 points or something like that, 26-6, if I remember correctly.
Something like that, yeah.
And it just wasn't. They were non-existent in this weekend's game. It was very disappointing. It's a massive hats off to Canton, who were ready, who were definitely ready. Vancouver has been shaky throughout the season. I know they've had troubles with their coaching staff, just trying to find time to coach this season because of life situations. So unfortunately for Vancouver, they will bow out here in the wild card rounds. Canton deservedly go on and finish that game. Again, briefly noted the Minnesota and Arizona game. For a team that was 4-8, they looked like playoff caliber team. They looked like their earlier season.
Let me ask you about that
start.
game specifically before you go. do you think? I mean, we all thought Minnesota was really good those first 4 weeks of the season or whatever, right? And then they hit that long losing streak. Arizona has been pretty much on top of their division all season. So, do you think this game was a matter of the real Minnesota, finally showing up again, the Minnesota we saw at the beginning of the season, or do you think that Arizona may have been overlooking Minnesota slightly because they knew Baltimore was next, and they have their eyes set on revenge for Baltimore?
Definitely not the second one. Definitely not the second one. And Eddie will be the first one to tell you, and I know how hard Eddie works. I know how a lot of coaches in the SFL work, but if anyone knows Eddie, he game plans for his next opponent. So he was ready for Minnesota. He knew what Minnesota brought to the table. They played earlier this season, and it was the same thing. Minnesota, I think, just overcomplicated things midway through the season. They rode that high early. They were unsettled midway through, and they were scrambling. They were really scrambling for that last third of the season, and it shows, when they stick to their guns, when they play their game, they're a solid team. And that's something they have learned and will have to take into next season and seasons ongoing as we go further down in this new era of the SFL, which big news out of the SFL front, 26 teams. We lose Las Vegas this month. Another quite interesting story.
Yeah, it is. I wonder if there's going to be any more teams on the chopping block, whether by choice or otherwise. It'll be interesting to find out. By the way, I've got 3 owners coming on tonight, one of which will be Eddie Gage, so I'm going to ask him that same question I asked you and see what he has to say about the Minnesota-Arizona game.
Yeah, absolutely. One final thing I want to say about Vegas and about the SFL in general. And while our league is growing and continuing to grow, these are some of the growing pains. We're gonna have folks that love the SFL, but don't like the direction we're going into, and they will decide to, I just want to watch. Don't want to be a part of the league at this point. And to them, I say, you're welcome back at any time. Come on back when you're ready.
Growing pains happen when there's change, bro.
Yes, always.
That's it. So it is what it is. No worries at all. All right, Tyler, I know that you had plans tonight. I appreciate you taking a break from those plans to be with us this evening. And please thank the other person that allowed you to be here. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, party people.
You got it. All right, Tyler Falk, folks, his 2-minute drill, going back and forth a little bit with me on the wild card games. Gunny's going to be up next. I'm pushing Gunny early tonight because he's got something going on here in a little bit as well. But before I get to Gunny, I want to hear your guys' in the chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say about these games. I see one comment already from Bob Funk. It says Minnesota knows what Eddie likes to do since BJ came from there. Yeah, but is this a thing where the student and the teacher, but the teacher's still winning? Bob Funk, I don't know. Art Vanderlei in the chat says it's not worth it looking past any opponent. I get that, Art, but we all know that when we look at our schedule, and every fucking owner and head coach and even players do this, you start circling victories or putting W's and L's on your schedule. You're like, we're going to win that game. We're going to win that game. We won't win that game. Why would this be any different? Literally the worst record of a playoff team, I believe, in years, if not in the entire history of the SFL, comes in. You won your division for 3 seasons in a row. Why would you not possibly overlook a 4-8? Were they 4-8? Anybody remember? Or were they 5-7? 4-8, I think, right? Why would you not overlook a 4-8 team, knowing that if you win, you get to go have your revenge against Baltimore? I'll ask Eddie about all that later. But I will agree with Tyler as well. I think the game of the weekend, not just because it's my team, but that San Diego DC game was stressful. I got to tell you, Mike O'Neill was here last night with Brooke, and we had antacids and Motrin on the Chase Lounge right there that we were just eating like candy last night. We were so stressed out. That was a crazy game. Props to DC and Destro and them over there. They played a hell of a game. As I see Ray subscribing for her 18th month. Welcome back, Ray. Bob Funk confirming that it was 4-8. And Art Vanderlei saying because they're in front of you without winning, you don't get to Baltimore. But yeah, Art, I don't know, bro. I just feel like sometimes you think that's a gimme. That's a gimme win sometimes. Oh, dude, Bob, don't even talk to me about my blood pressure right now, bro. It was through the fucking roof. You guys all seen that? What's that show? The Rock. Lisa. What's that show that we watch with Sheldon? The
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. You guys all seen the GIF with him hyperventilating paper bag, dude? That was me for like 2 fucking hours last night. So anyway, and then last thing I want to talk about before we get to Gunny. Anybody in the chat? How many people were surprised that Charleston, who also snuck into the playoffs at 6-6, goes on the road to play Seattle? Now we know that Seattle looked really good for most of the season. They struggled a little bit down the stretch, but is anybody surprised? Number one, that Charleston snuck in, but number two, that Charleston was able to travel to Seattle on the road in that stadium and take care of business. Bullet Beletsky in the chat saying Charleston's win was very impressive. Bob Buck says he doesn't even have high blood pressure. His blood pressure was up. I know. Corn saying the same thing. Max Jackson, what's up, bro? Watching your own team can be... Yeah, that's the worst part. That's the best and worst part about this league is watching your own team play. Hey, Doug Britton, what's up, bro? Good to see you as well. Bob Funk, I would say that. That's probably the most shocking, too. I agree with that. Canton shutting out Vancouver, I think that shocked everybody. JW Heartbreaker 24, we knew we could beat them if our defense played the way it usually did down the line. Is that Charleston? Is that a Charleston dude, or who is that?
Yes, it is.
Is it? Okay. Dude, sometimes these names on YouTube and on Twitch and stuff, kind of hard to remember who's who. But all right, so we're going to talk more about these games here. You know what? I'm sorry. We're not going to Gunny next. Never mind. My bad. I've got my first interviewee here in the green room, now in the showroom. And I want to welcome, we just talked about his team a moment. Oh, JW, what's up, bro? Good to see you, bud. The owner, one of the owners of Charleston, Jacob Clear, also host of the podcast with Mike O'Neill and Fox Highwind around the SFL. Jacob, welcome back to the program, bro. I can't even remember the last time you were here, but I appreciate you either getting up early or staying up late or whatever you got to do in Australia to be here tonight, bro.
What's up, Dave? Good to be back. I feel like I'm going to have an assertive guess and say that it's been a calendar year since I've been on Access Live, but I keep leaving these breaks in between coming on too long. But yeah, good to be back. It's midday here, so it's, not a drama with the time.
All right, good. That's good to hear. So I got to ask you first, okay? First and foremost, you had to be surprised and feeling very fortunate that you were able to get into the playoffs with a 6-6 record when we all thought that 7-5 was going to be the cutoff, right? I mean, talk to me about how you felt, number one, when you got the news, but how was the locker room? Because you guys had to be kind of bummed. Didn't you guys lost your last regular season game, right? Was it to DC?
We did. Yeah.
Right. So did you think after that game that you were going to be out, or at least, pretty good chance you were going to be out? And then take me through the roller coaster of thinking you were out, finding out you were back in, and having to prepare for Seattle.
Initially, it's hard. Initially, we sort of thought our chances were better because you kind of look at things at face value and you sort of go, oh, well, if, the 2 Sunday games go our way, then we'll make it. And then we kind of looked at tiebreakers and then it was like, oh, shit, this mess, it's not going to work out. And John, I know John's in the chat. I'm sorry. It came down to like a tiebreaker we haven't seen being used in several seasons that pushed us ahead of Vegas. And we had to call in a couple of favors on the Sunday night, get the 2 home teams winning, and that effectively pushed us over the line. But yeah, that scenario show was crazy. Like just finding out that was it. If those results went our way, we went in. But yeah, when I did the math and saw that our strength of victory was going to be harmed by the results going our way, yeah, that sort of threw a spanner in the works. But I don't think it sunk in until we played the game. I was kind of treating the week of game planning as like a week 15 because it just didn't make sense that we were still here.
Right. It was surreal, I'm sure. Yeah. So talk to me about getting Seattle as a draw. How did you feel when you found out you were going to have to go to Seattle?
Yeah. concerned because this is an opponent who had lost two in a row, I should say, prior to the week moving in, and Type Attack had thrown 5 picks against Vancouver, and it was like these guys are absolutely going to change their approach. And when you have that in your mind, it's hard to scout, it's hard to work out, hard to guess what you think
Yeah.
they're going to do. So we had to essentially assume and sort of make educated guesses based on what they were doing at the midpoint of the season rather than what they were doing in previous weeks. And yeah, we got it right, which I'm sure you'll clue me in on.
So let me ask you this then. You get Seattle. You have to game plan them in a way that you just mentioned. As you're watching the game, is your game plan going according to plan? Or did you get some breaks? Or did it go completely different, but you still won? How did that go down as you're watching the game?
It didn't, because we didn't expect them to shut in on our run as well as they did. At Kudos, that was the best thing they did all game, was they just did not allow us to run the ball at all. But one of the things that we've really focused on, me and my coordinators have really, put an emphasis on, is having diversity in our formations. And it's interesting, some teams this week got exposed for not having enough diversity in their formations.
Right.
DC being one of them, Vancouver another. What it means is if Seattle kind of jumps on our rushing game and they've gone out and sold out to stop the run, we've got enough plays elsewhere in these formations that we can start passing the ball. The game recognized that, and Lakeman just kind of took it upon himself, and our 3 receivers were just brilliant. I mean, that's the best Lakeman's ever played. It's probably the best that our Honus Adobe's ever played. He scored 2 touchdowns. He only scored 1 in the regular season. So it's about having different plans within the playbook. So we kind of expected that we are going to go out and sort of assert the run, because a weight game, you need to control the time of possession and put the game in your own terms. But yeah, we have other options, and that came to fruition.
I think that's going to be key going forward in this league, is you got to have options, because I think the coaches in this league are too good and can key on when you're just 1 or 2 dimensional in this league for sure. A couple more quick questions, bro, then I'll let you go. I know you said you got to be somewhere as well, but so you get in at 6-6, you sneak in the 12th seed, or I'm sorry, the 11th seed, and then you go to Seattle, have a great victory there, 31-17. And for all of that work and all of that, your prize is you get to go travel now to the number 1 team in the SFL, the undefeated Fort Worth Toros. What are your thoughts on Fort Worth?
Dude, it's rough, because this is a team that effectively hasn't lost yet. And, Alamo played them tight, and which was really impressive what Soto was able to put up in that game. They still persevered. I think it's doable. It's more doable than I think what people realize, because we walked into the last game against Seattle against a pass-heavy offense with the second best pass defense in the league. People doubted that, and it pulled through, as I said it would. And now I've got another team that may have a stronger rushing game, but we've obviously, I think the focus is going to be, can we stop Hacker and Stevens on the outside? I think we'll do enough to potentially mitigate Jay-Z Bacon and whatever they throw him with, because I think our front 7 is good. But it's going to be a battle of the secondaries again, I think, whether or not we are able to shut out those passes on around the middle that Dunhill throws so often.
I don't know if you remember, I think it was season 18, Lone Star. I think they had a bye. We had a bye in the first round. Then we were the number 4 seed. We hosted number 5 Sioux Falls. Then in the second round, we had to go to number 1 Vancouver. I don't know if you remember that season. I think Vancouver had only lost 1 game all season. They were really good. We were fortunate enough to go into their house and beat them and be able to get to the championship game. I don't see any reason why you can't do the same thing. We haven't had an undefeated team here, and God knows how long, if we ever have. The last time I remember was I don't know, remember what season it was, 15 maybe, when Baltimore was undefeated and then lost the championship game. It's hard to go undefeated in this league, bro. So I think the odds
Yeah.
might actually be in your favor because it's so hard to go undefeated. What do you think?
I wouldn't go that far, because we're walking in as a 6-6 team, whereas Alamo City were challenging them as a team that had only lost one game all season. So it's a different matchup. I think we have the tools necessary to try and isolate what they're strong with, and I think that's going to be very important as we approach this matchup because these are pieces that have worked really well in some games, and other games we've kind of struggled to get them playing the way that we want them to. So it may come down to a bit of a coin flip in that regard, but I definitely think we've got what it takes to do it, but I wouldn't say we're favoured.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you can get through and we can get through, you'll have 2 double-digit seeds in the championship game, bro. So it'll be nice to see you on the other side if we can both do it. I don't know if that's it. I wonder if that's ever happened. We'll have to find out if that's ever happened. I doubt it has, but 2 double-digit seeds in the chip, I doubt it. But Jacob, first of all, thanks for coming on, bro. Second, man, more than congrats, man. Huge props to you guys over there in Charleston and what you've been able to do this season, especially now getting, you get an opportunity and you guys seem like you're starting to take advantage of it. So good luck this weekend. And, if you win, maybe we'll see if we can get you back on next week.
Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I'll make an effort to jump on, but yeah, my coaching retirement is looming, so I'm hungry at the moment.
I get it.
Yeah, keen to get stuck in this week and try and break down this Fort Worth team as best I can.
All right, well, we'll all be watching, so we'll see you this weekend, bro. Good luck.
Appreciate it, bro. Likewise.
All right, folks, that was Jacob Clear, co-owner of Charleston. What an incredible job they did this weekend going into Seattle and taking care of business 37-17. We have one more owner already in the green room, so I'm going to bring them on before we go to Gunny. And then I think Eddie's going to be here later, so I'll just push Eddie back. So, Gunny, you're on deck, buddy, but let me bring in co-owner for the Canton Classics, Christian Alexo. Christian, welcome to the show. I'm pretty sure this is the first time you've ever been here, but correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct, Dave. This is the first time,
Okay.
and it's a late show, by the way.
It is. It's a what? It's a late show.
A late show.
Oh,
by the way.
is it a late show? I'm sorry, bro.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's,
No,
late. I thought you were saying. And dude, it's a late show, and I'm like, bro, if you think this is late,
no, not a late show.
gotcha, a late show. All right, good deal.
That's clever though, man.
Good
But
deal.
Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I was trying to get Mike All on here too, but I don't know. He's like, he works and he has to sleep or some excuse like that. I don't know what that's all about, but
Yeah, he had a rough night last night.
yeah,
so,
that's what I heard. So, bro, I got to ask you right out the gate. Very first thing, are you as shocked as the rest of us at you taking care of business 40-0 against what is normally a high-powered Vancouver offense?
I wouldn't call it shock per se. This is something that I think this club has expected, and we typically expect this all season long. So I wouldn't exactly say it was shock, but it was nice to see. Every team here in the SFL is talented and in so many different ways and can beat you in so many different ways. They all present their own challenges and obstacles to victory. So to come in here against a perennial playoff team like a Vancouver, such a quality opponent, and to see it go the way that it did, we're definitely proud of it, but not shocked.
You know, as I was watching the game, I went back and recapped a little bit of it too. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 3 offensive touchdowns, 3 field goals, and 1 defensive touchdown.
Correct.
And 1 defense. Okay. First of all, the end of that game just got a little out of hand. I don't even know what to say about it. It got sloppy. You guys took advantage of it. I think Vancouver lost even more focus than they didn't already have to begin with. And my man, Lacey in there getting the pick six. But as you're watching the game, and I'm going to ask you, it's kind of similar to what I asked Jacob a moment ago. As you're watching your game plan happen, is it happening the way you planned it? Or are different things happening? Because I'm sure you didn't expect to have to kick 3 field goals and get a defensive touchdown, right?
No. That part was definitely just not, anything that was foreseen. But, I'm the owner of the team. I don't coach here. We leave that up to Chris Porter and Kanye Rockefeller. But I do watch. I'd say probably 90% of the Sims that go on throughout the week.
Yeah.
So I knew that what we had coming in was going to be strong, and some of those little things that happened were just kind of a bonus. It's great to see the defense show what they can do. I mean, we've been in the top 5 defenses this whole season. I don't think we've ever left the top 5 yet as far as points allowed. And so to see it all come together like this was fantastic. Got to give a shout out to Chris Porter. I know there's been a lot of talk about what we don't do on this team, right? People say it's a little one-dimensional,
Yeah,
it's stale
yeah.
in this way, or it's this way, or it's that way. It's there's nothing to say that it wasn't designed that way, right? It worked long enough for us to get here, and now you kind of don't know what we're going to do from here on out, right? We could go with the air attack. We've got great quarterback in Scar Patterson. We've got some fantastic receivers, Dillapre and Owens, and and then we've got the Toriano Rivera, out there.
Dude, what a
we've
great
got
game for him.
Rojo, of course.
Great
man.
game for Rivera, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game for him. So it's kind of working out the way that we wanted it to at this point of the season, where you're not quite sure now which way to play camp.
Right. So first of all, I love me some Kanye Rockefeller. Love that guy. Obviously, I love Van Lacey. We played together, Lone Star. Love me some Mike All, of course. But let's talk about Scar Patterson for a minute. Somebody that's close and dear to our heart in San Diego, of course. If we ever have a Wall of Fame, I'm sure he's going to be on it. If not, maybe even be the first person on it. He's such a class act. He's a leader on the field. How was he and your locker room after the game? Was it overexcitement because you guys won your first playoff game, or was it like steady because we won one, but there's still work to be done?
I'd say it's definitely leaning more towards the latter. You talked about Scar there and just his kind of leadership. He's a super consistent guy. He's a bit like a metronome.
Mm-hmm.
For those people who do music, right?
Yeah.
You know how the metronome is perfectly steady, and that's him. He's so consistent, so stoic, as well. So his style is very much a, let's not get too high on this. We still have work to do, which I second. I second that. We definitely do still have work to do. It's nice to be 3 games out from a ring, but it's still 3 games out, right? It's just as far as it is close at this point. So, definitely still more to do, and we recognize that, and we're gonna do the work.
I get that. Last thing real quick. Let me hit the chat just for a second. Ray in the chat saying Dave's bringing Eddie on, so the show's going to go over on time. Twin Screw saying what's up to KJ.
Likely.
Yeah, that always happens. Me and Eddie we don't shut up. Eddie Gage in the chat saying whenever you're ready, bro. You can jump in whenever. I'll have you go either after Gunny or after Lisa. All right, Christian, here's the last thing. Let's talk about the upcoming game. You have to go to quite possibly, arguably, the second best, even though they have the number 3 seed, right? You're going to ACA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Strong team, very solid, lots of weapons, great defense. I mean, planning for this team is probably going to be a nightmare, like any of those top 3 teams. But take me over your thought process, right? The highs of winning, then the locker room, you level out the locker room, then realizing you have to go and travel and play the artillery.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Greg Soto as a coach. Adam Chance, my co-owner, and we both came through that San Jose system that was run by him, SFLM Season 5, and we obviously grew a lot of respect for what he does with those playbooks because at the time when Adam and I were down there, we were undefeated, and that season fell apart once we left. We like to say it was because we left, or we got called up to ownership, right? But it's Greg's great, man. He's great at what he does. He's he's absolutely fantastic at what he does on the field there. So we know what's ahead of us. I think as you're looking through just some of the film, just kind of breaking down what they like to do, what their game plan is. It's I don't want to give too much away about what we're planning on doing, but I have full faith and full confidence that my guys are going to just work it out. Chris Porter is up early, and he's 3 hours ahead of us. He's out there in California.
Yeah.
I wake up, fairly early myself. I'll turn on my computer and Chris is already there, running Sims. And I'm like, dude, you're 3 hours behind me and you're already up doing this stuff, and then Rockefeller will jump in, and those guys are just working so tirelessly. We got to give a shout out to Frank Bernstein, our head scout as well. Frank has been doing a ton of breaking everything down. So while Greg is great, and I will acknowledge that publicly, he's great at what he does as a coach, and we cannot take anything away from ACA and the season that they've had. I still have to stay steadfast in the confidence that I have in my coaching staff, or they wouldn't be in the positions that they were in here. And it's just good to see everybody working together, Frank and Kanye and Chris, just being the cogs to this machine, and it actually paying off, man. I'm pleasantly surprised with the way the Classics have performed. So looking to going out on Sunday, I believe we play, right?
Yeah, I think you guys are. I have it right here. Hold on. You guys, Canton at ACA Sunday at 6:30. So you're the early game on Sunday.
The early game Sunday.
Yep.
Well, that's nice coming off of a Saturday game, so at least we get a little bit of extra day of prep.
Yep.
And I'm very much looking forward to it.
Well, I gotta just on the last point that you made. I can't stress enough, and I think that people in the chat, Art Vandalays and them that are in there, scouts in this league are underappreciated, and they are invaluable. What they bring to 100%. The table for coaches to be able to do what they do. So, shout out to all the scouts out there for sure. Christian, thank you for being on, bro. Good luck this weekend against my former team.
Hey, back at you.
And yeah, we got a big one this weekend too. So, but hey, thanks for coming on for the first time, and hopefully it won't be the last time. If you guys take care of business against ACA, maybe we can sneak you back on next week.
That'd be cool, man. Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate it, and good luck to you and your squad as well, and to all the playoff teams, really, as well. And congrats to everybody in the league on a good season, and have a great offseason, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Christian. All right, everybody. Christian Alacio, for those of you who did not pronounce it correctly before tonight, like myself, co-owner of Canton. Thanks for being here. They put a whooping on Vancouver, 40-0 this weekend. I know Eddie's here, but I'm going to push Eddie back. Eddie, hit me up in the chat. Let me know if you've got time. I think I want to push you back to after Gunny and Lisa, if you can stick around, and maybe you and I can argue about my pick'ems after those two segments. So, Gunny, I think I got you for about 10 minutes, so are you still here with me?
I'm good to go.
All right. Then we're going to go to Gunny here right about... All right. Just Gunny being Gunny. Gunny, what's going on? What's happening? How are you tonight, bro?
I'm good. That was a good conversation from the Canton owner. I'm excited about their team winning their first playoff game. I'm sorry to let them know that the playoffs run is going to end this Sunday evening.
Dude, I mean, I'm like, I think people call him KJ, right? I'm like, bro, KJ, I mean, that's cool and all, bro, but I'm like totally rooting for ACA. Those are my boys over there. Sorry, man. Gunny, what do you have for us tonight, man?
I just want to give a shout out to all the teams that made the playoffs. I mean, Seattle, Vancouver, Minnesota, DC Dragons.
Yeah.
All those teams had a great season, made the playoffs, and they had a good season.
All right. Well,
congratulations to the teams that won. Canton, first-time winners. San Diego, first-time winners. Charleston, they were the upset special of the season so far. An 11 seed beating the 6 seed. Last season, a 12 seed beat a number 5 seed, so it always happens every year, just like the March Madness tournament. And the other team, Arizona and Baltimore. That's the game to watch this coming week 4 against 5. Both of them have been in the championship the last 2 seasons in a row. That's the game I'm looking forward to the most this coming weekend. So congratulations to all the final 8 teams. And just to remind everyone, November 10th, this Friday night, it is the 248th birthday of our United States Marine Corps. So hoorah to all my Marines, jarheads, and friends here in the league that have worn the scarlet and gold of the Marine Corps. I salute you. And to all our fellow servicemen and women in the league, Army, Navy, Air Force, and again, Marines, Coast Guard, your day is Saturday, November 11th, Veterans Day. Proud that I share the SFL in this community with you guys, and thank you guys all for your service. Dave, that is all.
All right, Gunny, thank you very much, bro, as always, and happy early birthday this weekend. Try not to party too hard because you got a game this weekend, man.
That's why I got to recover on Saturday, so I got to drink big on Friday night.
I don't know what I'm going to do, man. Friday and Saturday back-to-back are always tough. It's getting tougher as we get older, but
I agree with that.
I know. I will see what happens. Regardless, Gunny, thanks for being here as always. Just Gunny being Gunny, folks. And Gunny, we'll see you next week.
Well, happy birthday to you, my Marine brother. You too, Freddie. I see you over there. And Juan, Mississippi, Ron Haynes,
yeah,
and all the Porter, the guy that we're playing against, the defensive coordinator in Canton, Connor Darien.
Mm-hmm.
If you can remember some of the rest, just name them all for me.
Did you say Freddie already?
Yes, those are my Marine Corps brothers right there.
Yep. Happy birthday to all of those guys, and to you, Gunny. Thanks for being here as always, bro.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right, folks. I'm going to bring Lisa on here in a second, but I'm going to check the chat. I see some stuff going on. I was trying to see. What is this? What's Gunny? They're talking there. Art Vandelay, Michaela Fork are telling Art Vandelay the last game of the regular season is when we meet on the field in the minor leagues. Okay. Oh, Flight versus who are you playing for, Michaela? Are you with Chicago? Is that what it is? Bob Funk and everybody giving props, and then Bob Funk is mixing up Nacho and Ramos somehow. I don't know what that's all about. When my Nacho alarm went off, that's hilarious. But good to see everybody. Oh yeah, Warriors. There you go. Poe Politikin joining us along with Michaela, Ron Haynes, Nacho. All these guys popping in here over the last couple segments as we move on to Pink Lisa's Lowdown. Pink Lisa in the house. What's going on? How are you tonight?
I am so much better today. I'm on the ball. Sorry about last week. I felt so bad. In fact, I felt so bad that I spent 2 days revamping all of my notes and making sure that I had everything that I needed. So I hate to do that to the party people. I was really disappointed in myself. So appreciate you guys hanging in there.
Well, listen, all of us are allowed at least one mistake a season. I'm still waiting to have mine, so I mean, I don't mess up any shows ever, just in case you were wondering.
No,
just in case
you don't have any mess ups ever.
So, all right. So last week, remind me who were the winners last week. Do you have?
Well, last week we had, if I'm not mistaken, it was Florida. With their all
reds. Yeah.
We had several people who got honorable mentions, but Florida was it's similar to their
right
blue
there.
Water, but
this one right here, the one we didn't know if there was red in it or whatever. I just popped it up.
Well,
so.
yeah. Okay. I thought I gave them the benefit of the doubt and said it was pink, but I went back and looked at it. If I'm not mistaken, it was the same uniform they wore in week 7. When and I'm pretty sure it's red, but it still looked good. I still like it, and
listen, it was
still have my vote for last.
It looked pink enough that in October that we gave him the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean,
that is true.
Exactly,
that is true.
All right, so they wrapped up the regular season with you, and now we're into the playoffs. The wild card weekend this past weekend, not a lot to choose from, right? With only 8 teams.
And even more so because only 3 teams had new uniforms. So, most of the teams went with a uniform that they've done before. And I'm not saying it has anything to do with uniforms, but Vancouver wore the same uniforms that they wore in 6 different weeks.
Maybe they just didn't
And
have a
no
lot
one
of.
else has worn the same uniform that many times. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with their performance. I'm just saying.
Hey, you know what they say? Look good, feel good, play good. Yeah, look. That's what they say, right?
So I'm not saying it has anything to do with their performance, but that the stats don't lie.
Look good, feel good, play good. But let me ask a clarifying question here for all the part people that are probably wondering the exact same thing that I'm wondering right now. If you wore a uniform earlier in the season and you did not win, well, I guess Florida's the example of that, right? If you wear it again later in the season, but you didn't win before, you could win with a retread uniform later on, right?
You could. But that is predicated on the idea that nobody is throwing out a new uniform that's even better than your retread.
Right. There's always that. That is. Ray's in the chat saying, let Lisa design the San Diego uniforms. We might have her do it, actually.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we had a discussion. Mike, Dave, and I had a discussion about that as we were sitting around after the game last night. I will be honest with you, Ray. They did not like my suggestions.
Hey,
they shot me down on every one of them.
I thought that was a private conversation.
Oh no, you won't let me design a uniform. That's public knowledge.
Okay, hey Lisa, you're starting to break up. We should probably get back to the lowdown here. Also, Bullet in the chat saying Lisa throwing some shade. Type attack. Welcome to the program, bro. Good to see you as well. All right, Miss Pink Lisa, tell us. The first round of the playoffs, the wild card round. Who is the lowdown of the week?
All right. Before I tell you the winner, I do want to throw shout out to the 2 folks, the 3 folks who had new uniforms. Arizona brought out a new uniform. Seattle brought out a new uni, and DC.
Okay.
Arizona with the white pants with the orange jersey combination they had not used before.
Little old school looking, wasn't it?
A little bit old school, but it looked good. Seattle never fails to disappoint. Yeah. They had another brand new uniform with the purple, the graphic on it across the whole thing looked like it had been torn or ripped. Pretty cool. They had that nemesis on the socks.
I just realized that totally kills our thought process. Of or our rationale earlier. Then we said look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah, well, I like I said.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Sorry,
I'm not saying anything.
Sorry, Ty. Sorry, not sorry, bro. It was too funny. I couldn't do it. The ball was on the tee, man. I had to smack it out of the park. I don't tell you. All right, so you said what were the 3 teams again? I'm sorry.
They're Arizona, Seattle, and DC all had brand new uniforms, so I liked them all. They were all really good. Our wild card weekend winner is DC.
Oh.
DC's uniforms, this black gray ombre that they had, and if I'm not mistaken, I went back and looked again. I didn't see it before. This is a different approach to the ombre. Most of the uniforms, they go dark on one end and light to the other. This one, they took dark on both ends and went in the middle. So it's a different take on the ombre that I've seen before. Very clean, very classy. I like the pop of white. They got a nice clean graphic on their side of their pants. I thought it was a really clean uniform. Good use of the white to make it stand out. And then I do like their pops of that DC Dragon blue in their armbands and some other pieces of their uniform that just bring in their DC blue. So DC, our wildcard weekend winner of the lowdown.
So Bob Funk, the captain of Team Gradient, and Pink Lisa, the captain of Team Ombre. Dude, we got to get shirts that say Team Gradient and Team Ombre. That's just we got to wear those. Bob, remind me. Lisa, remind me. We got to get those out to everybody before the next convention and have everybody wear them at the convention. Have one be Gradient and have the other one be Ombre and be like, which team are you on? What is Type Attack? Acting like y'all weren't a miraculous third. Hey, bro, there's nothing miraculous about that. That's Robo, bro. That's Robo, man. All right, Pink Lisa. Glad you were on the ball this week, and
yeah.
we all appreciate you being here. Now we still have next week. We have 4 more games, so we still have another 8 teams. So that'll be enough to do it. After that, I guess we'll have to talk and see if there's even enough uniforms to do it after that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Season.
I don't know. Also, I'm thinking if we're bringing back the segment next year, if we bring it back, we may have to expand it to cheer unis and end zone graphics.
Ooh.
See if we can get some more design in here. See if people will step up their game. I think that we've got some clear winners in terms of their whether it's ability or desire to really play around with the uniforms and stuff like that. But it would be nice to see a few more teams take that on. After revamping all my notes, going through everything last week, I saw there's a lot of teams that just got really lazy.
Yep.
They're just replaying, retreading the same 3 or 4 uniforms. And hey, good for them. But it is sure fun when someone takes a little bit of extra time and throws out a really cool uniform. So.
Agreed. And there's a few teams that are the cream of the crop. So Nacho straight up saying Fort Worth is lazy. So there you go, Nacho.
There's a few different lazy teams.
Not
that they don't have some decent uniforms, but they got 3 uniforms that they retread over and over instead of having something snazzy and new. And it's always fun to see something new.
Agreed. All right. Well, Pink Lisa, thank you for being here and giving us the lowdown on the wild card weekend uniforms. We'll see you next Monday night for the quarterfinal uniforms.
Absolutely. Bye, party people.
All right. Everybody, Pink Lisa's lowdown. The look of the week goes to the DC Dragons. Before we bring Eddie on here, I'm going to do something that I haven't done in quite a while. I'm going to talk.
Are you kidding me? That is just stupid.
I'm going to talk about. There you go. First of all, I got to fix that damn graphic. The Axis powers. So I've been doing 1, 2, 3 all season, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because the whole Axis power, World War II, blah 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 thing. Charleston is lazy, but we decided to focus on the playbooks more than our jerseys. Don't worry, though. I'll convince them to roll out Pepsi Man if we make. Oh, that would be awesome. I'm going to put what in the order that I think the power rankings are for the final 8 teams that are in the playoffs for season 21. Now, I'm going to do it a little different. I'm not going to count down from 8 to 1 or to go 1 to 8. I'm going to jump around a little bit because I think some of them are pretty obvious, right? So, for example, number 1, and if you were here last week, number 1 is Fort Worth, right? They're the only undefeated team, the number 1 seed in the playoffs. It's obvious that they're number 1. I gave number 2 last week to ACA. Even though Fort Worth got the 2 seed, Florida got the 2 seed, I felt like ACA, they played Fort Worth well. They lost 2 games by just a few points, so I put them at a solid number 2. And, of course, that brings up Florida at number 3. Here's the issue, right? 4 through 8. I don't think 4 goes automatically to Baltimore just because they had a bye. I don't think 8 goes automatically to Charleston because they were 6-6. What did these teams do in the playoffs? Did they go on the road? Did they win by a large margin? Did they show certain strengths during the game? There's a lot of that to discuss. So I'm going to start at the bottom. And I'm going to say number 8. So the least powerful of the 8 teams, but hey, you're in the top 8, so it's pretty good. Me personally, the 8th most powerful team going into the quarterfinal or after the wild card is actually my own team. It's San Diego. And that's not a knock on us, right? 4 to 8 is all very close. But they had the closest margin of victory. DC had a chance to win it. I think, and I've had this discussion with a few people already, and people don't necessarily agree with me. But if I'm DC at the end of that game, and I'm a half yard away, I go for the touchdown, man. I'm not kicking a field goal to stay down by 1 point. I'm going for the touchdown because you never know what's going to happen with a couple minutes left in the game. You just don't know what's going to happen. And as Ty Patak mentioned, we got a good touchdown just before that, so it worked out for us. Hey, all right, Destro, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. And listen, if we were doing like real coaching, I know you probably would have gone for it. I get it. But, it is what it is. The playbooks are what they are. The AI pulls from it, and it happens. But so I put San Diego at number 8. Number 7. Boy, good to see Paulie as well. Who else is jumping in here? Destro's here. Paulie Truth is here. Who else has just jumped in? I think that's it. I think I've shouted. Oh, Justin Reside. Good to see you, bro. What's this? Oh, you broke the internet. Yeah, you also broke the birthday bot in my server, bro. What's up with that? Let's go to number 7 next. I'm going to jump around here. Number 7. I think the 7th most powerful team after Wild Card Weekend going into the quarterfinals is actually Arizona. And so Eddie and I will probably talk about this when he comes on here. But Arizona struggled at home against a 4-8 team. I don't know what other argument there is. Now, I talked to Jacob Clear a little bit earlier in the show, and I'm sure Eddie and I will discuss it as well. Minnesota's probably a better 4-8 team than the norm, right? They were really good early on, but they had that really long losing streak. They snuck in the playoffs only because they won a really, really bad division. Did they really deserve to be there? Did anyone from the Central deserve to be in the playoffs? I say no, but that's not how we do things here. So they were in. Arizona struggled against that team, and I love Minnesota, by the way. I love Axel, who's going to be on hopefully here near the end of the show to talk about his new show debuting tomorrow night. And you're off, Art Vandalay. But I love Minnesota. I love Brookie Burr. She was here with Mike last night here at my house. Axel and BJ. I love those guys. But bottom line is I was not impressed with Arizona's effort this weekend against a 4-8 Minnesota team. So that leaves 4, 5, and 6. How do we break these up? Let's start at number 4. We jump up to number 4. And I am going to give it to Baltimore. I'm going to give it to Baltimore. They did earn the bye. It's kind of hard to compare some of these bye teams against teams that actually had to play in the wild card. But like I said, this is like razor thin between 4 and 8. I mean, San Diego could be 5. That's how close this is. But I give it to Baltimore because they earned it, right? They've earned it over the years. They've earned it this season. They started off a little shabby this season, but they were able to put it together, finish strong enough to get a bye, and not even have to play in the wild card. So they get the 4 seed. So that's going to bring me to, let's go to number 6. So you got San Diego at the bottom, Arizona above them. Plus, how could I put Arizona above San Diego when Arizona beat us anyway? Number 6 is Canton. Now, I struggled with what to do. I went back and forth between Canton and Charleston. Is a 40-0 win over Vancouver more impressive than a 6-6 Charleston team going into Seattle? I'm going to say no. I would think on a normal season, if we were still in APF, and we've all heard Andy in Gen Chat talk about, this is a season where he hasn't had the opportunity to spend a lot of time. So if Vancouver's the normal Vancouver, then yes, that is a more impressive win. But I think Charleston, going into a very hyped, very good Seattle team with a great home field advantage over there in Seattle, is a little more impressive than Canton's win. Because here it is. Did Canton destroy Vancouver, or did Vancouver destroy themselves? Right? As I was talking to KJ a few minutes ago, they only had 3 offensive touchdowns. They scored 40 points, but only 21 of those came from touchdowns. 1 came from a defensive touchdown, and 9 of those points came from field goals that they had to settle for. So if you're in the red zone 6 times, you only get 3 touchdowns. Are you really dominating and beating Vancouver, or is Vancouver, screwing themselves? Type attack in the chat. Canton out up 40 and all, but they were throwing into coverage all night. All night something. I don't know. I don't know if I trust it. Gotcha. Dougie Day saying Charleston deserves number 5. They played their asses off, coming from somebody who had a front row ticket to that game. But going in, and we're going to do this again next week because there'll be 8 teams left, or there'll be 4 teams left next week. We'll do the Final 4 next week. But San Diego, Arizona, Canton, Charleston, Baltimore, Florida, ACA, and Fort Worth are according to me, your 8 in order Axis powers after the wild card weekend going into the quarterfinals. Speaking of the quarterfinals, this is a good time to bring in my boy Eddie Gage, I think. Art Vandalay saying in the chat, Arizona 5 at worst. I don't know, bro. Let's talk to Eddie. Let's see how he felt about the game. Eddie Gage, you still with us, bro?
What up, Dave?
Oh, there we go. How you been, man?
Tired, bro.
Oh,
World Series and all that, but
Yeah.
I'm recuperating.
I believe it. I get it. I'm assuming you just heard what I had to say about the power rankings, putting our division, you and us, at the bottom there. My thoughts on your game against Minnesota. Why don't you tell me what your thoughts are about the Minnesota game? I asked who did I ask earlier? Tyler, I think. I asked him his thoughts on it. Was it literally just a Minnesota team that was suddenly as good as they were at the beginning of the season? Or was there a tiny little bit of Arizona looking past them because they saw the revenge, against Baltimore if they win the game?
Let me go back a couple of weeks to answer this as best as I can. So when we played Denver, I believe it was, that was another busy week for me at work because of the playoffs. And I literally ran one sim against Denver. And I remember telling the locker room, man, they cannot stop our run game. DJ gonna go ham. And that was the only sim I ran because I just didn't have time. I was tired as fuck. And when we didn't have a game, they wanted to meet all day about absolutely nothing, So, I just didn't have that much time that week. Plus, I had other stuff going on with family in town and stuff like that. But I remember, I didn't spend much time prepping for that game because I shouldn't say I counted it as a win, but I was pretty confident that our running game would make up for any issues we had, despite my lack of prep for the game. And sure enough, I think DJ set the single season rushing record for yards or whatever. And then that following week, we played Minnesota in week 13, I think it was. And I ran one sim, and I remember telling the locker room because Ashley and a couple others always ask how the sim's going. They ask me on Monday, the following day. I'm like, bro, I don't know. I personally take Mondays off. That's my day to just relax and just get away from it all. But when I finally did run a sim against Minnesota, I said, y'all better enjoy last week because that's not gonna happen this week. They got Max Knight over there and Mark Mello, two former Scorpions, so I knew what their D-line was capable of. And sure enough, we ended up referring to the passing game more because I figured they'd be trying to key in on Moses anyway after that week before. And so, sure enough, actually had 4 touchdowns in the first half, and in the second half, they held the ball all damn game, and we couldn't get the ball. Every time we got it, was 3 and outs. And sure enough, they ended up getting back into that game and making it close. 28-20 was the final. And so when we played them this week, World Series going on, Dave, I kid you not, I literally ran one sim and was hoping it was enough because I was literally working 13-hour days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday was the first day I ran the sim. And Friday, my aunt had some stuff I had to take care of, with the hospital and stuff like that. So I just didn't really have time. And I turned it in and just prayed for the best. And I heard, I think it was you or Tyler earlier say something about was I looking ahead to Baltimore?
Yeah.
Hell no. Was Baltimore on my mind? Absolutely. But was I about passing Minnesota? No, because of what just happened the week before in week 13. So I didn't overlook them at all, but I knew it'd be a tough game. I told the locker room, I said, yo, y'all, this going to be a doozy. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but thank God we got it with a win, man. It's freaking the Hands brothers bailed us out a number of times.
So as you're watching the game, though, you said you only ran one sim, so you didn't really have a lot to go on other than your other sim against them a couple weeks prior.
Right.
As you're watching the game, though, are you thinking to yourself, I should have simmed more, we're going to be okay, there were maybe some changes, some plays you maybe forgot to take out? What's going through your mind as you're watching Minnesota battle you and almost steal victory away from you guys?
100% transparency. There were a couple of plays I meant to sub in and out that I didn't. I don't think it would have made a difference because they were shutting everything down. Anything we tried to do, they shut that shit down. And the sim didn't go like that. I mean, we still, DJ didn't go over 100 yards in that sim I ran, but he was getting shut down for like 1 yard gains, 2 yard games all game. I remember one time he had a 5 yard run, and the locker room just celebrated like we won a Super Bowl. And I said, it's a bad day at the office when DJ runs for 5 yards and the locker room
celebrating.
They were celebrating, dude. It was crazy. But first of all, shout out to Axel, man. He brought it, man. He intentionally took stuff away to make things tough for us. So I got to give him credit, man, because he came out with an excellent game plan. I think it backfired on him a little bit in some areas, but overall, what he did was working magnificently. So I got to give him some praise, because I know going through that 7-game losing streak, one could have easily just given up and said, hey, somebody else have get a crack at this. But shout out to Axel for continuing to grind and getting that win in Week 14 and getting to the playoffs.
So, I mean, that's it, right? I don't care if you are Minnesota. I don't care if you're Charleston. It's kind of like the NCAA tournament, right? Survive in advance, man. Once you, the chore, the job is to get in, and because once you get in, anything can happen, right? Which we just saw this on this wild card weekend.
Yeah.
Speaking of anything can happen, how do you feel about getting your revenge against Baltimore this week?
I
know this has been circled. I mean, I know you don't know that they were going to be on there, but once you see the brackets, I know that shit's circled, bro.
Again, 100% transparency. When I think it was Cam who said before the playoffs start that it was a lock that should we beat Minnesota, we'd be playing Baltimore next. I'd be lying to you if I said that was in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Even before we played Minnesota, I had on my mind like, damn. And it's funny because I hadn't seen them play a game since the convention. I hadn't watched their games. And I called their, I believe it was their Week 13 game or Week 12 game or whoever it was when they played Carolina. And I said, whoa, because watching from afar on the highlights and stuff, their offense looked vanilla.
Yeah.
But then when I actually saw the game and I was doing stats for it, I said, whoa, this is not the team I thought it was, the way it looked from afar. They threaten you short, medium, and deep, and you can't take it all away, so you got to figure out what you're going to try to take away, what you're willing to gamble with, and it's not an easy answer because if you try to just play deep and wait for the mistake, they like Florida, they just pick you apart, nickel and dime you to death. If you decide to take away what's short, then they hit you over the head with the deep ball, like we see them do against Carolina and others. And it's gonna be tough, man. But again, I haven't run a sim yet. I'm taking today off. I haven't scouted yet. That's another thing, dude. Scouting.
Yeah.
While I'm on the subject, bro, it's like why?
Dude,
because
did you hear what did you hear what I said to KJ? Right, scouts are undervalued in this league, but they are so vital, bro.
Absolutely, but it's like with the way we doing things now, I've scouted teams who use the same playbook and lost. I've scouted, it's gone both ways. And then I scouted versus teams who use the same playbook, and then the week they play me, they decide to do something different, and I've won or lost. So it's like, it's almost like, why am I wasting my time? I shouldn't say wasting my time, but it's rough, man. I don't even, I forgot who I was talking to. It might have been T-Pat, I think. But it's almost like scouting is like, it's not the same, dude. I don't feel like a coach necessarily. I feel like I'm just playing a guessing game, rolling the dice and hoping I pick right. So I don't spend nearly as much time on it as I used to do. I remember when we played Baltimore the first time in the championship 2 seasons ago, I scouted 8 games. And still lost in overtime. But, I don't spend nearly the amount of time as I used to do scouting teams.
Art Vandelay just said in the chat, bro, he said it's all about tendencies this season, right? What are the tendencies of your opponent? Bob Funk said...
I agree.
Bob Funk wanted me to ask you if you were worried that going to the Minnesota game that BJ knows you so well that he actually knows your tendencies, right? That he would know. But then again, you've got that same thing on him, right? So what do you think? Do you think that factored in at all?
Maybe because DJ knows I like to play aggressive, and I hate sitting back and waiting for a mistake. I like to go make the mistake, and he knows that. So he was probably in Axel's ear and telling him that.
Right. Let me do this. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then you want to stick around and do pick'ems with me?
I won't do pick'ems. I'll tell you how I think the game will go. But I won't
Are you
choose
calling a game this
winner.
weekend?
I'm not. I called mine this past weekend, but for
Hey,
playoffs, I don't do pick'ems.
Hey, did you get that contract I DM'd you about always calling San Diego games, since that's why you're doing it? You're trying to scout us all the time, right? Is that why you call all our games?
I'm trying to give Johnny some bad juju.
I know you are. I know you
It
are.
It didn't work.
It almost worked.
To be Robo, and it was magnificent.
Oh my God, dude! It was a great play. It was a great catch and spin by Robo as well, man. That was money. Let me check the chat real quick too. Twin Screw is here. We're honestly, knowing the books barely mean a thing at this point. It feels like it's more run pass ratios and what plays you have, and maybe the look. Yeah, I think tendency is a great term. Is a great word that Art came up with. The problem with that, Eddie, is, dude, I could change my tendencies next week and you wouldn't even know about it.
Exactly.
Right. Let me ask you this before we go into the quarterfinal pick'ems. You watched all the games this weekend. Which game was your most favorite, and which one surprised you the most?
The one I say my favorite was probably your game, that game, and I think I said it at one point that Chad and I were going to start talking about the next convention or the draft or free agency, rookies. You know,
I remember you saying
what other teams might fold, and next thing you know, that kickoff return changed everything. And I said, "Uh-oh,
dude, that third quarter had me. I had antacids and Motrin on the fucking table, bro, at the same time, like popping them like fucking there, candy, man. That was.
I've been there,
dude. What was that? Was a kick return, two penalties, and 2 interceptions by Johnny, all in the third quarter, bro.
Yeah,
one quarter.
It was crazy.
It was insane.
And I would say the game
that surprised you the most.
I won't say it surprised me, but because I
actually let me ask it this way instead. Obviously, there's 2 surprising games from this weekend, right? The Charleston win and the Canton win. Which of those 2 games was more surprising?
That's a good question.
I mean, I don't know if you heard me do the Axis Powers, but personally, I feel like the Charleston win was more impressive than the Canton win because I feel like Vancouver beat themselves as much as Canton beat them.
I would agree to an extent on that because Vancouver, I don't want to get into it, but yeah, they shot themselves in the foot. But first of all, kudos to Canton, Ray Donaldson, Chris Porter and company. They did their thing, shutting anybody out is hard, especially against an offense that's averaging 30-plus points a game.
Yeah.
But what Charleston did, and I don't know if you listened to that podcast that your buddy Mike O'Neill had.
I haven't listened to the most recent one, no. I do listen to it, but I haven't listened to the most recent one.
It sounds like sometimes they're about to fight.
Oh, Jacob and Mike? Oh, yeah.
And Mike O'Neill said that Charleston hasn't played anybody who passes 30-plus times a game. And I remember thinking to myself, bro, you must not be watching those Charleston games because those guys out there flying around.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily get paid a lot, but the coaching, you got to give it to them, man. When I saw them play Louisiana couldn't complete a pass in the fourth quarter, let alone get a first down. And they were locking them down. I said, wow, we got to pay attention to these guys. And so Seattle, I think they just got a bad draw because they ran up against an opponent who does a good job of defending what Seattle likes to do. And also, man, freaking Charleston's wide receivers made some spectacular catches all game long in heavy traffic. I'm still not sure how they completed some of those passes that kept them on the field and kept T-type attack off the field. So shout out to Charleston, that coaching staff. They did that thing.
Hey, speaking of looking past your current opponent, look at Art Vandelay already talking about playing Charleston in the playoffs in the chat. What's up, Art Vandelay? Hey, Johnny Rito's here too. What's up, Johnny? Good to see you. All right, so since we're already talking about Charleston, Eddie, let's go there first. Right. Charleston, I was talking to Jacob about this. 6-6, sneaking to the playoffs on the weirdest tiebreaker ever.
Yeah.
Going to a Seattle team that was playing really hot, but last few weeks they weren't playing so great.
Mm-hmm.
And they take care of business. Can Charleston make it 2 in a row on the road, or do you think Fort Worth, they hold serve and they move on, advance to the semifinals?
Ooh, man.
That's a tough draw for Fort Worth too, bro, to be honest with you.
It is. I think it's going to be a great game. I don't anticipate. First of all, John Lakeman had the game of his life this weekend. My goodness, talk about a man who I think he left Queen City and was people trying to figure out where he was going to go. Anybody even want him? And he found a home in Charleston, and they utilize him a lot because his arm, their running game isn't all that impressive, but they do just enough to keep him balanced. But they are up against a tough Fort Worth team who creates a lot of turnovers, and they force them because they go after the quarterback. They don't just sit back either. They like to blitz, and it's going to be tough because Seattle was blitzing too, but Charleston's O-line was protecting them. So if their O-line can hold up versus Fort Worth, that could come down to the fourth quarter. I'm not sure if it will because I just don't know if Charleston will have enough offense to keep pace. But I don't know. I didn't see this game either because I was doing the World Series. But I'm not sure what Alamo City did to slow down Fort Worth, but they put a blueprint out there. I'm not sure if Charleston's going to stick to that script or try something different that more suits their needs. But it's going to be a great game. And, I don't want to pick anything, but because, again, as a coach, I don't want to disrespect anybody. But that's going to be a great game. And I think Charleston needs to have a lot of things go their way.
All right.
But that's going to be a good one.
Hey, Art Vanderlei, I was just giving you shit, bro. No worries there. Hey, Zach, are you in the chat still? Zach, what did you put on the poll for the over-under? Did you put 75 or 90?
75.
Oh shit, we're over then. Yeah, so if you bet the over, you won the points. We're way over. We went over.
Do you want the people that?
Yeah, we'll do it at the end. I'm still waiting to see if Axel Raven's going to come on after this too. So we're gonna go probably another 15 minutes anyway. So we're gonna go over the 90. So it don't matter if it was 75 or 90. It doesn't matter if it was 75
Axel,
or 90.
even though he hasn't come on yet.
I just pinged him, but we'll see. I'm buying him some time anyway. All right, so Eddie doesn't feel like he should pick since he's a coach. Well, guess what? I'm not a coach, so I'm picking. Otherwise, why am I here? Right? This is what I'm doing here. Here is my take on this, and I'm actually going to make it a lot simpler than Eddie just did right now. When Fort Worth beat ACA, that to me told me that Fort Worth is the best team in the SFL. Charleston had the game of their life against Seattle, but they are a 6-6 team who snuck into the playoffs, and they have to go on the road to the best team in the SFL. Charleston does not get it done. I pick Fort Worth to survive and advance to go into the semifinals. That Charleston at Fort Worth game is this Saturday on Veterans Day.
Hey, Dave, have you noticed that the coaching philosophy of Charleston has changed over the past 6-7 games or so?
I have not.
That's not the same. I would almost think that someone else is coaching that team.
Well,
but I'm just guessing.
Who do they have over there? Well, Jacob said he's still coaching, but he's going to hang him up as soon as when they lose their last game this season. He's hanging up coaching. I don't remember who it said he was passing it on to when he announced that.
He hasn't mentioned, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're at least not in the coaching booth.
Well, if nothing else, he's probably slowly giving him more and more to do, and so those philosophies are probably mixing, if nothing else, by now, right?
Yeah,
I would think. All right, Eddie, you've watched San Diego a lot this season. I know that because I hear you calling my games all the time. So
I don't. By the way, I don't request them. That's they just happen to give.
Dude,
to
every
me.
time I see you on there,
how many games did I call?
At least three. At least three, bro. At least three. Because
It's been the last three.
I'm like, bro, Eddie's scouting us in case we meet in the playoffs. That's fucking bullshit. That's all right. I watched all the Arizona games too. So what's up?
There you go.
All right. So that's the first game on Saturday is Charleston at Fort Worth. The night game, the nightcap for Saturday night on Veterans Day, ladies and gentlemen. Your San Diego Mavericks get to play on Veterans Day. Thank God it's not the night before my Marine Corps birthday because I know I wouldn't make that shit. San Diego has to travel to Florida. Now, Florida could have been the 3 seed if Alamo City beat Fort Worth the last game of the season. Alamo City comes up just short. So Florida gets the 2, Alamo drops the 3rd, or else I'd be playing against my own team right now, my old team.
Wow.
Rather than that, though, I am playing against Leon Thunderman, who was with San Diego previously. I believe Eric Hammer's on that team, San Diego previously. The former owner
Dave?
of San Diego. Yeah.
Eric Hammer retired, remember?
Well, his name's still on the roster, bro. I just checked it last night.
Let me look.
Check the portal. I think maybe he came back. And then of course Optimus is over there, and my good friend Art Vandelay. So take friendship out of this shit. San Diego at Florida, Eddie. What do you think about this game?
You got Johnny, who likes to throw the ball 30 yards downfield, versus Florida, who likes to hand the ball off and say, "Bullet, go get us a first down." San Diego's defense has improved over the past several weeks too. Can't forget about that. A lot of people sleep on that, but you guys' defense has been playing a bit better. So shout out to Mike O'Neal.
Dude, that goal line stand last night was unbelievable.
2 weeks in a row, you guys got a goal line stand.
Yeah. Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. And my boy, I forgot to mention Bullet. Yeah, thanks for bringing him up. So I got to worry about Bullet now too. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Knowing how you guys play defense, I think is going to play into the hands of what Florida likes to do offensively when Mighty is coaching. And I don't want to go into no details because you guys you guys see what they're doing, but I think the way you guys play defensively is gonna play into the hands of what Mighty is licking his chops probably. He could probably turn it in the playbook right now because he sees what you guys are doing. He's going, you know what? We're gonna have a productive day of football, and it's crazy, but your offense, man. Jeez Christ. Sometimes I got to give Mike O'Neal credit, man. I don't know where he finds these plays at. Like that one game you guys had against Vancouver, and who was that who was catching passes 30 yards downfield? The fullback,
Mateo
Bravado.
Yeah, Mateo. Yep.
My goodness, bro. I don't know where Mike found these plays at, but that guy, he needs a coach of the offensive coach of the year award or nomination or something because he's doing his thing over there, man. Shout out to him.
Agreed.
And
hey, let me tell you this too, real quick, before you wrap up your synopsis here of San Diego and Florida. Last night, him and Brooke are at our house, and we're watching the game, and we're both stressed the fuck out, of course, and we win the game, and we just sit there for a few minutes in silence, like catching our breath, trying to really, de-stress. Bro gets up with his Retroid, walks over to my TV, hooks that fucker up, starts fucking playing Florida, bro. Like 5 minutes after our fucking game's over.
Dude, that's a coach come playoff time. And I you know who else was doing that? I can guarantee it was Mighty.
Yep.
I guarantee
Art, are you coaching or is Mighty coaching? Who's coaching over there?
Art's doing the defense. Mighty's doing the offense.
Okay.
But I can guarantee it come playoff time, Art's doing that defense, but Mighty's in his ear saying, hey, man, listen here. You might want to take that. I'm not telling you what to do, but you might want to take that play out and add that play instead. Because that's how he is come playoff time. But, bro, I don't know. That's going to be that game's in Florida, right? Yes,
it's in Florida. It's the night game, Saturday night. Basically, our Mike O'Neal offense and our defense, you got Ron Cochran over there, one of the best managers of games, period.
He leads the league.
Yeah.
He leads the league in yards per completion. You know what that means?
Means he throws.
Yards per attempt. You know what that means? There are not a lot of incomplete passes, and when he does complete them, they going downfield. But so does Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny does it too.
Johnny is up there too.
You know what though? Who the fucking biggest beast in this game is probably Bullet, bro. Bullet Bileski's a beast.
Dude, do not. I agree. Bullet is a beast, but I love some BE Robo. I swear, if you wasn't so cool with him, man, I'll snatch him up in a heartbeat.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that shit. That's what, dude. I was in the Marine Corps with that guy in the '80s. I swear to God, if he is, I'll paint him a traitor for the rest of his life.
Hey, BE Robo, give me a call, bro. I got a max contract.
Hey, Robo. For you. Hey, Robo. Eddie changed his number, bro. Okay, so. You're not picking winners, you said, right?
No.
All right. So here I am.
Look, that's going to be a great game.
It is going to be a good game. I think all these games are going to be good, but just like all 4 games of the wild card were good, but that 31-30 San Diego DC game was just like, it was the game. It's the kind of playoff game that you want to watch, right? As a spectator, not as a fucking owner or
as
coach.
A spectator, not as a owner or coach.
Fuck,
heck no,
dude. I'd rather blow any team out any fucking day. All right, here's what. Obviously, let's be honest here. I'm picking San Diego. I'm not going to pick against my own team. Obviously. I mean, come on. I'm in it to win it, right? We're here. Why do we play? We play to win the game.
Hey, how much do you guys pay Hunter McWaffle? That guy breaks
all of it.
9 tackles every game.
All of it, bro. He gets all of it. he gets fucking Lego My Egos every fucking morning for breakfast.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Dude, he won that. Dude, that drove me crazy last night. And I understand.
Oh, that third down. I was like, if they pass this body falls incomplete, the game is over.
Listen, I understand the rationale of our offense wanting to be aggressive in that situation, but run the fucking ball on first and second down.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God, I was dying,
Jesus
bro.
Christ.
Yeah, Destro, I'm sorry, bro. That was just, dude. I mean, that's just mano on that, dude. He just fucking. He missed tackle and he ran over another guy, and that was that. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, there were so many close plays in that game. That was a great game. That's got to be an instant classic game, I got to tell you, that San Diego DC game. All right, let's move on to Sunday. What do we got here? Oh, shit. Yeah, I think we're a little over time. Canton, I just talked to KJ a few minutes ago against all my boys over there in ACA. We all know that Soto's a scientist too, just like O'Neill and you guys and Max and everybody else. Canton, do you think there's a little bit of harm in beating Vancouver so badly that it maybe gives you a little too much confidence going into ACA?
Hell no.
I'm just saying. I mean,
man, listen, those road games hit different, Dave. I don't know what it is, but they I don't know, man. When you got to go on the road, you got to come with your A game. And Canton has only won one road game all season, and so they're gonna have to dig down. But I do remember the game in which they traveled to Florida, and they played Florida tough for about 2.5 quarters before Florida pulled away in the second half of that third quarter and got the W. But they were going back and forth, man. Freaking the guy you was just talking about earlier, their fullback, my former player, Scorpion. I almost said his government name.
No, Rivera. You talking about Rivera?
Yeah, Rivera. I almost called him by his government name.
Dude, he had 2 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday.
Yeah, and he played good versus Florida too. Yeah. So, bro, that's. I think Canton is up against it, but if they can find a way to slow the game down and play at their pace, it gives them a better chance to win. Because although ACA has only lost twice all season,
dude, by a total of 3 points, bro.
Right, they're not necessarily blowing folks out like Fort Worth is.
No,
be a competitive game.
But the games they do lose, they barely lost.
Oh yeah, they barely lose. Absolutely,
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're literally 3 points away from fucking being undefeated.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Real quick, hey, I'm sorry, Achilles Papatonis. Good to see you in the chat, as well as Ronnie Shanahan. Ronnie, I almost had to hunt you down yesterday, bro. Trying to fuck up my team like that in the third quarter, man. That was not good. What does Ray say? This time of the year, Ron Haynes, you recruit whatever and however you want. I'm not sure what that was, too. I must have missed something earlier.
About me recruiting BE Robo.
Oh, B Robo. Hey,
he just sent me a DM saying, let's talk.
By the way, no, fuck he did. Listen, he first of all, you got to get you don't even know his name. You're not even getting his name right. His name's not BE Robo. It's B Robo. Like, I want to be Robo.
Right. He said, I want to be a Scorpion.
No, he said, I want to be done with this conversation with Eddie Gage. Hey-o. Hold on. Shit, I just dropping all my shit here. All right. So what's your final? Give me like 30 more seconds on this ACA Canton before I give my pick.
If Canton can slow the game down and I think that gives them the best chance to win. I heard KJ talking about getting away from their identity. I think that'd be a mistake. I say stick to what got you there and hope for the best. Just try to slow the game down and play at your pace.
All right. So I take number 1 Fort Worth at home against Charleston. I'm taking my own team. Every time we play, I bet on my team. I love my team. You know why, Eddie? San Diego! I love all y'all! No,
Oh,
I
my
just
goodness.
sorry, bro. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I tried. Thank you very much. I'll be here. I'll be here all week. But you know who else I love, bro?
What's up?
I love me some ACA. You know that. Those are my boys over there, man. I can't not pick them, right? I got to pick ACA. And it's not, listen, part of this is picking with my heart, but ACA is legit. They are the real deal. They've shown it all season. They beat Minnesota when Minnesota was tough. They hung with Fort Worth. I mean, they have just had a phenomenal season. And if San Diego doesn't make it to the championship, I would love to see a Fort Worth Alamo City rematch for the championship because that game was that good. So I've got ACA. I've got I got Bob Funk. I'm reading Bob's Funk.
You were drunk.
I am drunk. I'm reading Bob's Funk, his chat right now in there. Doug Day said, please don't do that again, Dave. That was weird. Dude, Ron Hayes. Dude, everybody's giving me shit for doing that San Diego. I love all y'all or whatever the fuck.
They said it was awful.
It was terrible, bro. But you know what? Now it's going to be a fucking sound. It's probably going to be on our soundboard now.
It was terrible. I'm never adding that to the
on the
soundboard ever.
I guarantee you it'll be a fucking bullet
If
point
anything,
next week.
I'll add Eddie's.
There you
Oh,
go.
get out of here. You're hey, you know what? You're fired, Holdorf.
Eddie,
Anyway, I'm taking Soto and Albert and Yogi and Gunny and Bo and Jukin and all my boys that I used to play with over there at ACA. I'm taking ACA, especially since they're playing at home, and because, like I said, I still love me some ACA. Those are my boys over there. All right, Eddie. The final thing we touched on this earlier when you first came on. This will be the last thing we'll talk about, and then we're going to wrap the show up. You get your rematch. You get your third chance against Baltimore. And I know you can play. You can play like you weren't looking ahead of Minnesota, and that's fine. But
Well, I told you I was.
I know. I'm just. Well, I mean, yeah. The second time, but the first time, you kind of said you didn't, bro. So I know that you had them on your mind and you circled them, but
They were definitely on my mind.
they're definitely on your mind ever since Cam said that 5-4 thing, right?
Yep.
So, tell me about this game. And I don't even have to ask you who you're going to pick because I think you pick Arizona. So tell me why you think Arizona can finally break through and beat Baltimore this time.
It's going to be a great game. We're traveling to their house. Wow.
I mean, 4-5 is no joke, bro.
Dude, they have a lot of weapons, and they use every last one of them. Freaking T-Roy has, I believe, 1,500 yards rushing as the fullback, which is crazy. They line him up at tailback. They do a lot of things. They move him around. He catches passes out in the flat. He does a lot. And we are up against it, man, because they use all those weapons.
Yeah.
I haven't run a sim yet, so I don't know where I can take advantage of things yet, if at all. But
Well, let me throw this in there too, because it's a new game, because we saw Baltimore struggle early on. Do you feel more confident this season than you would have the last two seasons, or do you feel less confident because you felt more confident on the other game?
if you would have asked me that question early on in the season when they were struggling, I'd say yes.
Mm-hmm.
But now that T-Pat has found some time to figure things out, they haven't lost, I believe, since week 6, when they lost to Motor City, I believe it was.
Was that their last loss?
I believe so. They've won 5 or 6 games in a row since then. Hey, maybe more. I forgot. I don't know. But T-Pat is a very smart dude, man, and he's gonna put his players in the best position to win. And it's gonna be tough, bro. We are up against it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not saying I'm scared of them, but I definitely respect.
But you're
what those
cautious
two
and you
coaches can
respect
do.
them. Yeah, of course.
They got 2 coaches, so they got one who can focus simply on offense, one who can focus only on defense. I have to do both, so I don't have the amount of time they have. And I'm up against it, man, but I look forward to the challenge, and hopefully we can come out with a W.
All right, here's who I'm picking to win. So far you guys see I've got Fort Worth, I've got San Diego, I've got Alamo City. In the nightcap on Sunday, November 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern, Arizona travels to Baltimore, the third season in a row they play each other in the playoffs. And you know what sucks, Eddie, too? This year we start doing a neutral field for the championship.
Yeah.
That could have helped. That might have helped you out a couple of years ago. I am picking this team. I'm actually picking Arizona. I'm picking Arizona to win this game because in APF, Baltimore had very few chinks in the armor. We saw the first half of the season that Baltimore's human. They can be beat. Now, like Eddie said, he thinks they've won their last 6 games or whatever it is in a row, however many. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. Of course, when you're on a winning streak, winning the next game becomes less and less possible percentage-wise. So those odds would also be in Arizona's favor. But I digress. The reason why I think Arizona's going to win is because I do believe that Eddie's had this circled on his calendar. I do believe they look past Minnesota a little bit. I do believe that he's been prepping for this game the second he heard Cam talking about the 4-5 matchup. And I think that Arizona's due. We've played against Arizona. We watch Arizona a lot because they're in our division. I see how they play. I see the talent they have. And I think that Arizona is finally going to break through and beat Baltimore. And your Final Four, I guess in this case, San Diego, if this happens, San Diego would go to Fort Worth and Arizona would have to go to Alamo City. So we'll see how right I am and how wrong I am next week, next Monday when these games are over and we're down to the Final Four. But those are my picks. Let me know yours. Ray in the chat saying, do not use the game plan you used against us, Eddie. Art says, who the hell would pick the under tonight? Right? I mean, come on. I'm not on the clock tonight, right? I can start whatever I want. I don't have to end. Look, we got 12 minutes till 11 o'clock, and that'll still be getting off the air earlier than on a normal Monday Night Spectacular. So there you go.
I can't lie to you, Dave. I be trying to tune in and watch your show, bro, but
it's fucking late, bro. Here's the thing, though. Here's the idea that I have, right? I mean, you can always watch the VOD the next day, bro. You know that.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking about doing is keeping Access After Dark next season. This is what I'm thinking about. I'm not saying I'm doing any of it. I might not do anything next season. I don't know. But if I'm thinking about doing Access After Dark, but shortening the show to just literally talking about the Monday night game, since they don't really get any play, on the Monday night show because they haven't played yet.
Right.
And saving all the normal stuff that we do like tonight on Tuesday night, bringing Access Live back and doing a show like tonight on Tuesday nights. So
okay,
that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But all right, in the meantime, no Axis of Evil again. I do want to talk about this, though, you guys. SFL Showtime. All the other shows in the SFL. You heard Eddie talk about around the SFL with Mike and Jacob and Fox. And I think Brett, did I hear that Brett Killian's on there now? I think Brett Killian's on there as well now. So
he's on there sometimes, I believe.
Okay.
But he said he's going to try to come on more often.
I think they try to release their shows on Thursday nights or Friday mornings. Of course, Thursday nights is also SFL nights with AJ. We know that Tyler's taking a break right now with Netma. The streets are talking. Are you guys solid Wednesday nights right now? Eddie, what's going on with that?
During the baseball offseason, Wednesday night should be the night.
Wednesday night. So that'd be in 2 nights. Wait, didn't I just see Chad post something that you guys are going to be on tomorrow night, or did it say Wednesday night?
It's Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, okay. All right, and so that's all the SFL shows. Axel Raven did not make it tonight, so I'm sure something came up, which is all good in the hood, no big deal. But I do want to announce this. The SFL show is going to debut tomorrow night. I don't know how many of you saw his post in the league content channel earlier today, but it is called the SFLM Show. It was previously Minor League Fights and Insights, a show specifically for you, the SFL Minor League. The new re-envisioned streaming panel show just for you, the SFLM. Debuts tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we'll have John Fullerton, Jason Peace. Oh, Hartshorn. Hey, JW, you're on there. How about that? Mickey Malello and Nick Frazel will be on there as well. And the topics tomorrow are new teams and their vibe, post-development draft examination of team strengths and weaknesses, and they will be previewing Friday night's matchups, which is kickoff night for the SFL minor league. And I believe, Art, correct me if I am wrong, but don't you and Frank play opening night, right? San Jose and Bossier? That's going to be a good game. That'll be a fun game to watch. No, I'm not pissed, bro. I'm going to give the minor league another chance. You know, I can't let one person ruin it all for me, so we're good. Especially now that all my buddies are in there coaching. I mean, between you and Frank and Danny Carmichael and who else is in there? The Menners. The Menners have a team. I mean, dude, like half the team are my friends, so I'll probably go in there and get it. Gunny saying Friday night, November 10th, Flight versus Steamers on the Marine Corps birthday. That's going to be fun. I don't know how I'm going to do that, Gunny. I'm going to be drunk and I'm going to be watching my friends. That's going to be... just like when I was in the Marine Corps, I guess.
You were drunk.
I will probably be drunk. All right, folks, that's going to be it. We are over 75 minutes. We are over 90 minutes, but we are still under 120 minutes. So, Freddie, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you booing Freddie? That's rude, bro.
Man, ain't
No,
that rude?
I never boo Freddie.
Yeah, okay.
I know better.
What were you booing?
Great show as always,
That
Dave.
we're under
Yeah, I'm
120 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to be, we'll be under 120 minutes, I guess.
That's what she said, though.
Hey, yo. You know, Zach's not, yeah, he's not doing a great job on the fucking board tonight, I'm just saying.
You're fired.
You're fucking fired. Real quick, Freddie, before you start singing, in the chat, Doug questioning the SFLM starts Friday. Yes, it does. Keely saying nice show. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Art confirming that they play as well. And there was something else I saw in here. Axel, Doug says Axel coming back. I don't know if he's actually going to be on the show or if he's just producing it or if he's hosting it. It wasn't clear about that part. It just said who was going to be on the show. I'm assuming he's producing it and he's going to be the host, but I guess reach out to him. But that's tomorrow night. So you guys check out that show tomorrow night. Support Axel and all those guys over there in the minor league. Freddie, take us home, bro.
All right, here we go out to all the party people out there. Burn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good parties must end. We'll call it a night. The party's over. Until next week, well, we'll party down with Dave again. Good night, everybody.
Freddie, you fucking kill it every week, bro. Atta boy. You know what? I'm going to have to hire you to dub this San Diego, I love all of y'all. Because apparently I don't do it very well.
Wrong.
Wrong. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thank to all the party people tuning in. We had a really strong following tonight. The numbers were great, and it stayed steady all night long. Even now, we're still over 30 people as we're signing off. So I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you to Eddie Gage. Thank you to Jacob Clear. Thank you to who else was on here? Christian was on here. KJ. Bullet, of course. Gunny, Lisa, Tyler, Freddie, and the soundboard man himself, Zach Holdorf. Thank you guys all for being here. It's not a show without all of you. And it's not a party with all of you, but it's not a party anymore because ain't no party like a Monday night party because a Monday night party don't stop until right now. Peace.